Hello, everyone, or the one. Hello, Aman. How are you? You're the first batter up. Rani says, "Hey, can I ask something about HOCD?" Rani, you may, but you need to let me know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. The regular things that we usually have as it is a custom on this channel. We try to speak more about relationships and breakups at this hour, but now and then, because we just covered a whole lot of that topic at the 1 o'clock one this afternoon, earlier on this afternoon. And depending on where you're located, 1 o'clock would have been, I don't know where you are, Randy, so can't make a comment there. Randy says, I'm 24. We already spoke on Skype. Oh, we have we? Before, maybe you don't remember. I'm from Germany. Oh, no problem. Let me check it out, Randy. I remind myself who you are. Oh, I can see that. Yes, we had an appointment, but I just don't remember what we talked about. So no worries. Yeah, I think I kind of have an idea. So regardless, nevertheless, go for it by all means. And we have Beetlejuice here. It says 18 Male Norway. It's a place I really want to visit someday. And Aman says, can I follow you on Instagram? Oh, you're talking about Randy. Oh, okay. Beetlejuice says, ever since Beetlejuice, oh, there it is. 18 Male Norway. Okay. It says, Ever since I got HOCD, my attraction and libido hasn't been the same, and it's really making me depressed and suicidal. Yeah, well, depressed, definitely, but why suicidal? If you don't understand the separation between brain, you, and type of thoughts that each one of these two, brain and you, can use the apparatus of the brain to make, to produce, then you may think about these sort of things. But if you realize that what is being suggested to you by the brain, it's got no credibility. It's not a deity. The brain is not you. You're not the brain. So brain cannot decide for you. Brain is not your intellect. Brain is as stupid as it comes. It's a machine. It produces thoughts. On the other hand, you are the intellect. The awareness is the intellect. That you're supposed to judge the brain's production, and if it's useful, you use it. If it's not useful, you let it go. You're not supposed to be believing what the brain puts out. Brain is as crazy as anything else. You know, no different than your intestine. You know, your intestine, when you have diarrhea, you recognize that's not normal for me. You know, you don't say, "Oh, diarrhea. Oh, maybe that's how, but I've been all the time. I never knew that." No, you know, it's not how it used to function. So you know there's something wrong. Well, brain is also an apparatus, is a tool, is an organ. It can malfunction. And just like how you take care of yourself, if other organs are not working well, you got to figure out how to understand it, how to treat it, how to help it to regain its balance. You talk to your doctor, psychologist, psychotherapist, and who are specialized in what you're going through, and they can help you, just like any other organ that we have. So please, Beetlejuice, there's so many challenges in this journey of life that every time there's something that it's not agreeable to us, or it's an attack of some kind, either by an individual or by a circumstance, we can't go out and say, okay, I killed myself. We're here to experience things and learn things, deal with things, become stronger through our journey, through our challenges. We're not supposed to be every time that something happens, okay, I kill myself. So what? What do you get? We won't even be here to see you recover from it and to enjoy the victory of it, you know? So let's put that aside, and manly as you are, let's go to war. And this war is not a violent war, it's an educational war. If you talk to your psychologist, psychotherapist, and they let you know how malfunction of the brain happens in this particular cases, we talked about the basal ganglia, we talked about the striatum, we talked about caudate nucleus, we talked about prefrontal cortex, we talked about the relationship and the malfunction of the signaling system between all these components. Then through education, you understand what's happening and you help your brain to be retrained. It's very important to train the brain. Just because we have a brain, it's not trained. We need to teach it like you've taught it everything else. Brain never done anything until it learned from what's out there, schools and your attention and your focus and your teachings, and then it developed certain resonation in your consciousness. So let's see. Let's go back to Randy says, so I'm doing much better. I'm not doing any compulsion anymore and try to do my thing. So I distract myself from my obsession. You know, distracting yourself from obsession is one thing, but ignoring the obsession because you know its irrelevancy, that's another thing. Distraction, then you constantly need to hold the distraction in order to not to let the other distraction to the previous one to show itself. And that's neither here nor there. But the ability to focus on what you want to focus, what you set out to accomplish on that day, on that moment, which means ignoring, even if you don't have anything else to focus on, just ignoring what is trying to suggest to you, what brain tries to have you focus on. Ignoring what's irrelevant to you is the art that you want to become expert at. And that comes by knowledge about how this thing, what this thing is. Because one of the reasons that you focus on it because you think it's important, you think it has credibility. Once you realize that what brain conjures up doesn't have credibility, hmm, it's a suggestion. And brain doesn't itself knows what it's doing, what it's suggesting. It just suggests. It guesses things. Hmm? Because remember we talked about brain doesn't find its security and balance in physical safety of the physical environment like the body does. We talked about it before. You check your limbs, you're here, ears, nose, your elbows, shoulder, legs, you know where they are. In a physical area, you see them, they're safe. You live in an apartment, it's in the door is locked in a safe part of town. Physically, you feel safe. But mind, brain, I use the same word here, the same, but mind and brain are totally different. So you know. Brain doesn't find its security in a physical environment. It finds its security in occupation. What does occupation mean to brain? It means in thinking, in producing something. And it's not going to consult your values when it wants to produce something. It's not going to say, okay, I want to think about this. Is that in line with your values? No, it's not going to do that. It's just going to spit out all kinds of thoughts that it can manufacture. Given whatever information is seeped through your consciousness, it picks it up. It doesn't care if you like it or you don't like it. It's in line with your values or not. Just makes thoughts. And it finds its security in making thoughts, in engaging you, becoming angry at the quality of the thought, discussing it, exploring it, defying it, fighting with it, arguing with it, trying to prove the brain that you're wrong. This engagement of the exchange of energy and keeping itself occupied by producing thoughts is what keeps it from floating all around the place. Because brain, like any part of your body, unlike any part of your body, doesn't have a place in the body unless you teach it where in the body it should be focused to hang its hat. So then it also will coordinate itself with your body. But otherwise, your body knows where it is in relation to your physical portion of your existence. But the mind, the brain, doesn't know if it can be part of the body. So it doesn't have a place to secure itself. It finds its security by thinking about something, and it's all over the place. But once you understand how to teach it, then it doesn't have to find its security in occupation. It can find insecurity and relaxation by simply being coordinated with your physical being, which is, we've discussed it in other videos that you can take a look, and especially when it says meditate. In the videos of meditate, you will have this discussion there so that you'll know where the mind can focus. So, where was I? Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say, but that's all right. Ah, distraction, obsession. But sometimes I still have some kind of thoughts. Yeah, we all do. 80, 90,000 thoughts a day shows up in our brain, but they're all irrelevant. The thought that you use the brain to manufacture is different than the thought that the brain uses its own apparatus to manufacture. Yours is have a purpose, but the other ones that shows up, just consider them irrelevant, ignore them, go about your business. You don't need to prove anything to brain. So, um, Aman says, my dad told me that Buddha said, if you let body and mind disturbed, undisturbed, then it will go back to its normal state and could heal any wound left on body. It can heal itself. Oh, okay. Um, Little Juice says, every time I see a good looking girl, it doesn't feel like the strong attraction I had before because you're trying to prove that it does. You're constantly comparing, which itself takes the attention away from you. Look, you're going through a glitch of malfunction of the signaling system of the brain, namely in the midbrain caudate nucleus, part of basal ganglia, part of striatum. So now you got to reteach it, so it will get back and get rid of the glitch. So be patient. Do what your psychologist, psychotherapist suggests. Have a meeting with them, learn what they teach you. And you can watch the videos I've put in these two playlists and all the links of the famous psychologists, psychotherapists like Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Owen, um, Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Weiner. They're all the links are there. You can watch them and learn, educate yourself. PA says, hello, your videos helped me a lot in my last breakup a few years ago. Huh? Ah, you just sent me an email, right? Okay, go ahead. Ask your question. Mace Bannister says, sir, I'm 19. Where from? Mace? 19 where? UK, India, US, Australia, where? So, sir, I'm 19 and I have a question about relationships. How can I stop thinking too much? I feel like I can trust her, but my head keeps trying to convince me otherwise. How do I cope with this? Mace says, I'm from UK, sir. All right. You see, Mace, your head keeps trying to convince me otherwise. Otherwise, to what? Otherwise, that I feel I can trust her. Really? Where does that feeling comes from? What has she done to prove to you that you can trust her? And trust her with what? Are you a millionaire, billionaire? Want to trust her with your money, with your wealth? What is it that you want to trust? With your heart? So you think she's responsible to protect your heart? She's a human being. She's interested in you. You're interested in her. She's no different than you. She's no solution to your life. If you look at her as a solution to your life, you fall for her for no reason. You got to see what is she bringing to the table. How is she treating you? Is it the same as you treating her? Are you guys cordial to each other, relatively honest to each other at this stage of the game? And you will know all these things more as time passes by. But trying to lay all the responsibility of I can trust her because my mind is giving me the feeling. Look, she doesn't think that way about you. Women are more sophisticated and pretty much a little bit more smarter than we are. They look to see how you behave, how you treat them, what provisions, what things, how compatible you are. They give themselves time to get to know about you a little bit more before they decide if they can trust you or whatever the trust means in your case, because it could mean different things. So you don't have to answer that question that my mind said I can trust by my brain, or I feel I can trust her, but my brain convinced me otherwise. Okay. You don't have to make a decision. Just go with the flow, see how it goes, Through time, this question will be answered. Otherwise, you don't have a crystal ball to know which one of these are right. I can trust her. Yes, the crystal ball says, oh, you can trust her. The brain says, no, you can't. How do you know? Neither one of them know. Which one knows the girl at all? Neither. So your brain is designed to protect you. So obviously is alarming you from foolishly making decisions that is based on nothing. You have no data. And your feeling is infatuated with her, and she's pretty, or to you it's pretty, you're turned on, you can't control yourself. And as soon as we see a pretty girl, or somehow a girl that we like her, we think she's got all the other credentials that we desire for our girl to have. You think she's smart, she's unselfish, she's attentive, she's going to be this, she's honest, she's loyal, she's accountable. All of that, you give it to her. She's wise, she's smart. Why? All because you're excited about, you know, being with her, getting to know her, intimacy and all that. So that I feel she's great is because you like her. That's all. The rest of it comes with time. All right. Beetlejuice says, when my HOCD isn't as bad, I start obsessing if I'm asexual or I have lost the ability to feel attraction, but I've always had a strong attraction and loved girls for as long as I can remember. Then that's what OCD and subsets of OCD, including HOCD, does. It brings doubts to what has always been normal and apparent to you. That doubting is what's interfering. Otherwise, you're not changing to anything. As I said before, we are not milk that tomorrow and next few days will be sour milk because time has passed. And then a few days later will be yogurt. And then months or so later, whatever will be cheese. We don't change like that. You're born heterosexual, you're heterosexual for life. You're born homosexual, you're homosexual for the rest of it. It's not like you're going to be changing to this, then changing back to the other one. How come? How come everybody thinks, or people who think that way, that you can change from heterosexual to homosexual, but this change will not happen again? So what is it going to be? Heterosexual, homosexual, homosexual, heterosexual, heterosexual. But when are you going to know what's going on? So whatever you're born as, and that's already hacked in the wombs of your mother. Whatever gender you are born as, that's how it's going to be. The rest of it is going to be problems that this brain is going to cause you because of its malfunction of the signaling system. And you got to learn that. Otherwise, what's to stop you to think the other way around? And then the other way around again. And at a certain age, the other way around. And then you know? And how often have you seen the homosexual person changing to heterosexual? How come that doesn't happen from the other end? We don't hear that often, do we? So, so you need to be reasonable and focus on your history of when HOCD happens to people, they somehow forget about the whole history of their life. And they're only focusing on what's happening in their head, which brain, being powerful, affects and brings about reaction in the body. And then you get really totally confused. So stay away from all these suggestions. Remember your history, stay on course, and remember, you don't live by suggestion, thoughts, or images that the brain produces. You live by your vetoes and choices in life. Vetoes and choices in life. Brain can suggest anything. Other people can suggest anything to you in the form of business, in the form of association, in the form of friendship, whatever it is. But you veto or choose based on what you see it's viable, relevant to you. Same thing in everything else in life, including the suggestions for your own brain. Because brain is not your intellect. Brain is as stupid as your intestine. No different. It's got a job, it's got a mandate, it does what it does. You're supposed to teach it proper behavior according to what is useful to you and helps you to accomplish what you set out to accomplish. And we have Aman says, I have exact problem as Beetlejuice have, so I give you the exact answer as I did give Beetlejuice. And when I upload, you get that. Vahid Bobo says, hi, Mary. Vahid, let me know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. So we have Chester says, oh my goodness, aloha, mahalo, where have you been? We have a super chat from Chester, and he says, here's some funds for your dried mangoes. Ah, good. Dried mango is now out to lunch. I'm getting fresh mangoes. I like that better. And says, and hot tea, Mehran. Mahalo, mahalo, and aloha. Lovely to see you here. You made it here. My brother from Hawaii. You guys know Hawaii is my homeland, at least adopted homeland. And says, sharing some blessings to people who made a huge difference in my life. We love you too. And I'm delighted that you're here and that the contents have been helpful to you and your life. You're a precious soul, and I hope that you will take good care of yourself and always stay on course as you wish it to be. And remember, you live by your vetoes and choices. And now we go back to Chester says, male 27 Hawaii, says, aloha Mehran, long time no see. How have you been? I'm probably not going to see your response because I have to get ready for work, but I hope you are doing good, my life counselor. Well, delighted to hear that. I love you too. And thank you for being here and giving us this good energy. All right. So wish you have a wonderful work when you're getting ready for it. And at the same time, it's always lovely for you to stop by and say hello. So we have a very small group tonight. And I think that's my fault because I started a bit earlier. Usually I start at 9 o'clock. But tonight I thought, instead of going for exercise now, then come back and do the a live stream at 9, I do the live stream now. And when it's cooler a little bit, I'll go do my exercise. May says, I trust her in a way that she won't leave me. Don't ever trust her or any other woman that she won't leave you. Why? How can you be sure of that? When you create certain kind of illusory certainty in life, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment, because nothing in life is permanent. The suffering starts when you try to turn impermanent to permanent. That's the beginning of all suffering. So creating a certainty on something that you have no control on, let alone it's somebody else's decision. And what do you think this girl is? An angel? What? She's just pretty, turns you on, that's all. The rest of it, it's in her consciousness. Her consciousness, its weaves changes like yours. She may decide that she doesn't like watermelon tomorrow. Yeah? She may decide that she doesn't get the attention, or she doesn't get the approval, or she doesn't get the affirmation that she hoped to get or she was getting at the beginning. And it's not because you change anything in your behavior towards her, but that's how she thinks, because she doesn't have enough confidence in herself to bring the confidence she needs independently by her own accomplishments in life. She's looking to get that validation and accomplishment and that confidence from other people. And when she's already getting it from you, but she can't produce it on her own, then she says, well, I got that one, but I still don't feel confident and don't feel accomplished on my own. So maybe the answer would be to go to somewhere else that I haven't gotten and try to conquer that and have his attention towards me. And then I feel good about myself. So she can leave you anytime. So don't think that way at all. Based on her behavior and how she treats you, you go on. And if things happen that there are conflicts and divisions, you try to resolve, discuss, resolve, compromise. And if you all do that and it still doesn't work, well, it doesn't work. You go on your merry ways and then find another companion. And he says, I trust her in a way that she won't leave me for someone else or she won't hate me for being me, but my brain is trying to find ways not to trust her. It's just constant something. No, listen, trust her now because she hasn't done anything. She hasn't left you. Be yourself, enjoy, try to get close and bond. And when she doesn't, then you'll know. But why should you have to project something that hasn't happened and then put yourself in a position to behave with her as if she is not a suitable and compatible girl when she is? So focus on the fact that you trust her and everything is good. And when she changed and she didn't change her mind, that's her right. And she wants to go somewhere else, that's fine. Then you don't trust her anymore. But you don't have to, kind of take that posture when she hasn't done what you are afraid she might do. And don't be afraid. Just respect her, love her, take care of her, be good to her as she is to you. And let's see what happens. And when things didn't go the way it should, then you change your mind and you say, okay, it doesn't work out anymore. Then you stop trusting. Otherwise, you can't trust anybody just because you like them. They can change their mind. You can change your mind. What about you? You may see some other pretty girl tomorrow who really pays lots of attention to you. What are you going to do? So it goes both ways. May says, and because I have OCD, it gets worse. Yeah, that's it. Because OCD, French call it, a doubting disease. And that's what it is. I had all kind of OCDs, all kinds, since childhood. But I never knew that's OCD or didn't have a label. I just did crazy things until I became wiser and wiser and learned it and tried to reprogram myself, understood certain things, and then went at it gung ho with lots of knowledge, neuroscience of habits, understanding it, analyzing psychologically, and finding out the reasons, and then the medical reasons for it, and the psychological reasons for it, and the malfunctioning reasons for it. Many of these OCDs that starts because of need. Every one of us need for psychological security, and that starts from childhood. You don't want anything happen to your parents. You don't want anything to happen to your family. You don't want anything to happen to your comfort and safety and security. So then you try to do some weird things in as if those illusory ways somehow brings that comfort and balance and assurance you. And the whole problem is we've been taught from childhood that you got to do this, like pray or do this to get that something that you love and get it forever. Permanence. We always strive for permanence. And that is the problem. And in order to keep that permanence, we started doing OCD stuff. Touch the light switch 5 million times and check the door, 10 times. Make sure the oven is closed 100 times. And then it seeps into other forms of OCD and so on, which once you learn that this is not something you need to adhere to or put up with, then you learn how to deal with it. And through science and neuroscience of habits, psychological understanding, and you reprogram yourself, rewire your brain through neuroplasticity. And we've discussed that a lot before, so I don't want to get into it right now. Beetlejuices, I have also developed hyper awareness. When I see a guy, my brain immediately questions whether I'm attracted without my permission. It just happens. That's not what the brain actually is doing. The brain is trying to protect you from a thought that is manufactured based on negativity of the brain, which is based on protecting you. Because how can you protect something if you don't think negative about it? Like if you're hired to protect a mansion or protect someone, In order to do your job well all day long, you're supposed to expect and think and conjure up an attack from that corner. Somebody might come from that corner. Somebody might try to attack this person that I'm protecting from that end, in that way, in this trick. So you're constantly in that. But the whole idea is to protect you. So actually, the brain is trying to protect you from HS. So brings your attention to that, which is trying to protect you. And you, the brain again, picks it up and runs with it to the nth degree and comes up with all kind of things that are to you irrelevant and uncomfortable. So watch the two playlists that I have: transient, intrusive OCD, HOCD, negative thoughts. These are details and interpretations of what comes to the brain in regards to HOCD. And then the other playlist, which is mainly talking about the separation between brain, thoughts, and you, and how it's actually logically discussed and explained for you to understand it clearly, which is the backbone and foundation of getting out of HOCD and OCD subsets. And that is called it's called intrusive OCD, HOCD short videos. And again, none of them are short. It's just a trick to get you in there and get yourself educated. So, Rani says, my uncle invited my girlfriend to his home because they had a conversation about me. How old is your uncle? He told her he wants to talk about me. So he did, but talked really bad stuff about me and how I hate him, have anger. She's now my ex, but I know she was really naive and saw him as a family member like my mom. But I have really much anger towards him because I saw him as my brother. But he stabbed a knife in my back. What an asshole is he? How old is this idiot? It just happens to be your mother's brother, but same age as you are or similar age? What business does he have to want to talk to your girlfriend? And what business does he have to say bad things about you? That's between you and your girlfriend. So that is your motivation to study well, get a good job, have an independent life, and don't have anything to do with this idiot who caused this, if that was the cause. And if he's same age, maybe he was trying to, I don't know what his intention was. But it was stupid of him to butt in. And it was very naive and stupid of your ex-girlfriend to actually go to someone else's home to talk about you. Says, what the fuck you want me? You want to talk about it with me? I've got nothing to do with you. I'll talk to him if I want to talk to him. So obviously that girl is not for you because she's stupid. And the uncle is not a real uncle. He's an asshole. No, just disassociate yourself with him because there's no shortage of assholes in the world. It's not like he's the only one. Everybody is trying. He's totally is a low life. I've never heard something like this. And if somebody does this, they're just low life. Don't involve yourself with this idiot. Just take distance from it and get this to be a motivation to have an independent life. Study, get a good job. What I don't know what age is. I forgot, Randy. What's your age? Do you have a job? Are you still in school? Did you ever tell me what your age is, Randy? Anyhow, focus on building your life and then put them all to shame by succeeding in your life and bringing about a good lifestyle for yourself, comfort lifestyle, by your perseverance, by your efforts, and you don't need them. Again, I don't know what your situation is, if you're still living at home or living separately or whatever. Beetlejuice says, I also have the counting numbers OCD. And sometimes I get thoughts I should do this or that a certain amount of times, yeah, or I will turn gay or something bad will happen. Well, and the gay people could be thinking about the same thing that you do and think that if they don't do it, they would turn heterosexual because there's no difference between you being heterosexual and somebody being homosexual. That's different gender. But each want to be who they are. So to them, being something else is not as good as being themselves and is bad. So that's how it looks. Otherwise, and OCD is OCD for anybody, and we're all in it together. Homosexual, heterosexual, whatever your gender is, this is something to do with our psyche. And you know, for homosexuals, they're hit by thinking they're heterosexuals. By heterosexuals, they're thinking they're being hit by being homosexuals. It's just a glitch here, which you got to understand and deal with it. Aman says, "Hi, Mehran sir." Hello, Aman. Rani says he is 31 and I'm 24. Yeah, he's an asshole. He's the brother of my mother. Well, shame on him. She had a conversation with him and wanted his feedback about some stuff about a relationship to get advice from him because he's like my brother. Well, he shouldn't have butted in. Your mother shouldn't have asked him to have a discussion with the girl. None of their business at all. That was a very bad behavior. It's something between you and the girl. You're an adult. You're 24 years old, and what's there to be, butt in? So remember, you got to have an independent life. Study well, or if you're not studying anymore, focus on your job, make money, have an independent life, and nobody can interfere like that. But having said that, your girlfriend was an idiot too, because the girlfriend is not supposed to go and talk to the uncle. So, what do you want to talk to me about? Why should I come to your home? You want to talk to me? I'm going to call my boyfriend and we're going to sit there and see what you want to say. So, none of your business what I think of him, like you. So, anyhow, obviously, that is a good riddance in both ways. You now know more about your uncle, supposedly, and now you know more about how naive and stupid, unthoughtful your ex was. So, next. All right. So, what? We have what? Whopping 4 people here? This is why I'm telling you guys I should stop doing live streams. Unless you guys get off your asses and promote this channel, otherwise we wither and die. We've got about 3,000 videos on this channel. Every single one of you has had some kind of a relationship problem, breakup problem, OCD problem, has been helped to the hilt. Like they cannot get this sort of material and content anywhere else with your own testimonials. Yeah. So what the heck are you doing for promoting the channel? Huh? You got to do something, guys. We'll just disappear. And I want to reach as many people as we can so we can help others too. Because the content of this channel, as you all have said, has been life-saving to many of you and has been second to none. So do something about it. Talk about it in chat lines. Share the videos you like on your social media, on TikTok, on Instagram. Promote it. You've told me, not me, that so many garbage channels out there with garbage content and they've got about 500,000-600,000 subscribers. Why do we only have 23,000? There's something missing here. And unless you guys help out, we're going to disappear in the sea of YouTube channels. Beetlejuice says, how long will it take for my attraction to come back? Because when my HOCD partially subsides, my attraction is nowhere to be found because you're looking for it. Relax. Let it coast. Let it sail. Let your feelings have no distractions and no anxiety about, I have to prove that I am. I have to prove that I am. That impatience just causes the brain to catch on the negative vibes and create negative thoughts and bring your focus away from what it is that you want to focus and put it on something that you want to have nothing to do with. because you're trying to prove it. Don't do that. And it takes as long as you skillfully be able to avoid paying attention to this, ignoring these sort of thoughts. And the more you ignore it, the more you're rewiring your brain through neuroplasticity. And you're training your brain. This is what I do when these sort of thoughts show up. I don't pay attention. I ignore. I do what I do. So eventually the brain learns that, when this comes, I can't engage him. So it learns, because you don't pay attention and ignore them, it won't produce it. Because whatever in life you don't pay enough attention, it starts disappearing. You be surprised how the level of energy and attention has a lot to do with existence of other things. President of my university, my college, he was called Dr. Howard, I believe. Yeah. And he did a thesis on this very interesting thing, which I was trained in Aikido in the form of energy and universal energy. And you can see the attention you pay to things keeps things alive, and lack of attention and ignoring actually makes things wither and die and never see the light of day. At least makes a big difference. Dr. Howard's study and thesis was one of the things that he wanted to show was this matter of energy. So he chose a laboratory, a room, which both ends of the room had the same situation in relation to sunlight. So he put the same kind of plants in this side of the room and same kind of plants in this side of the room. Water them the same quality of water, same time of day. Nourishment the same amount and same time of day. The only thing he did difference between the plants in this side of the room and the plants in the other side of the room was that when he was watering one side, he talked with them, says, "Oh, I love you. Your leaves look so good. You're amazing. Look at the shine. You're looking happy. I love you all. Amazing. Hope you have a wonderful day." And the other side, when he watered them, he said nothing. He didn't talk with them. He didn't send energy. He didn't send love. Nothing. He just watered them, gave them food. That was it. Pretty soon, the side they didn't talk to, they became yellow and withered and died. Same sunshine, same water, same food, same nourishments. The other ones, greeneries, the shiny coat of their leaves, they were healthy like hell, like heaven, healthy. So that tells you the power of energy and attention is a lot. That's why you feel so good when a girl pays attention, with anybody pays attention to, says hello to you. That brings a validation to you. That brings worthiness to you. That brings an energy and happy energy to you. And then the same way, when somebody is nasty or arrogant or the energy quality is bad and you pass by it, even if they don't say anything, but they look like shit, they feel like shit, they make you feel like shit, that's a negative energy. So energy has a lot to do with how you feel. So same thing. If you don't give this energy to thoughts, negative thoughts, things that are irrelevant to you, that you don't want them to be there, it will eventually wither and die because you're not giving it life. You're not giving it attention, which is life energy, to have life. Ignoring, how many people die from loneliness? More people die from loneliness than heart attack. So make these negative and intrusive thoughts become lonely by ignoring them. That takes away the life energy away from them, and that rewires the brain, teaches the brain that if you want to get my attention, my energy, and to live and be happy and strong, in good mood, you got to learn by my behavior toward these thoughts, and these thoughts are unwelcome, irrelevant to me. Not that you go out and try to prove to it, I don't like you, why these thoughts are here, I want to destroy them. No, just ignore. Focus, pay attention to what you love to pay attention. So If it's that, then you just focus on whatever you want to focus. Keep looking at, you know, your history, the girls you like to look at, things that bothers you, don't pay attention to, and they'll work. And Tubai shows says, sir, I have a question. Tubai, first, let me know what's your gender, what your gender is, how old you are, where you're tuning in from. These three things always is necessary before we get on to many reasons for this request. And one important one is I want to see how old you are. If you're too young, you got to have your parents' permission to be here. And I, when I ask you, I trust you will give me the right answer. Otherwise, um, this channel is not made for people who are younger than, you know, the legal age. Um, Tubai show says, I'm 26 years old. And he says, I felt attracted. Okay, where? Tubai, why are you giving me piece by piece? Where? Which country? No soup for you. I'm not going to answer until I get that. I'll just have a sip of tea until you respond to me. If you guys read up there what I've written at the beginning of the, you know, chats, it asks you, please let me know your age, gender, and which country, city you're tuning in from. It's the least you can let me know. Tubai says India. So 26-year-old India, he says, I felt attractive or attracted? Attractive to my uncle's wife. Oh, I see. So you feel attracted, you feel she's hot. Is this my problem? Yeah, it is your problem because you can't have her. That's a problem. If you could have her, hey, well, you know, she wasn't married and that wasn't the problem. She's married and married to your uncle. So, but I know what you're saying. Is it your problem because you're attracted to her? Is it a sin? No, it's not. It's very normal. She's beautiful and you're a young man, you're turned on, you're heterosexual male, you like women. It's not going to ask you, oh, well, can I be turned on with this woman because she's the, I don't know, queen of the country, or she's my, you know, mother's friend, or she's my uncle's sister, or she's, that means your aunt, or she's my aunt, or she's my uncle's wife. Makes no difference. You know, you can be turned on by any woman that somehow she's beautiful. You could look at her hands and you'd be turned on, or her nose, or her eyes, or her legs, or whatever, the body. That it is. But if you act on it, then it's a problem. So you don't have to act on it. Just enjoy the fantasy, enjoy the feeling. That's all right. But don't go saying anything to her, or don't think it's something you should act on it. No. Thoughts are thoughts, and they can make your body react. It could be intrusive thoughts, or it could be this kind of thoughts. Doesn't matter. It's okay. Just don't act on it. That's all. Yeah, that's part of being a boy, part of being a young man. It's very healthy. Just have good judgments and don't act on it. Well, guys, it's 53 minutes, almost 1 hour, and we don't have any more questions. We don't have any more guests tonight. I started early, so perhaps I can wrap it up and then go about my exercise. And although it's still sunny, still too hot for that, but we can get ready for it. I wonder. Well, of course, it's pretty early in India right now. I don't blame you guys not being here because usually you have like, I don't know, 20, 30 people, depending on what's going on. But what do you guys think about the topics, the title of the live stream that we have? Give me your feedback on the title that we have. Before, we used to have titles like Mind That Seeks Truth, which I don't think people would know what it means when they would look at the list of the live streams. And I had another title used as Internet Dad. That was not bad, but still wasn't doing much. But I thought I'd put a title that it will say something like this is about um, breakups, relationships. It's about intrusive thoughts, about the brain. So people know that this live stream will be talking about these sort of things from the title. So what do you guys think? What do you think about the title? What do you think about? Is there any other title that you guys think I should try? Because we can have different titles on different live streams. You know, Beetlejuices. I think this title would draw more people in here. That's what I thought. But obviously, we failed. It's not really. It's like 9 people, and half of them are asleep. But anyhow, it's what? It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, it's not that late in India. Sunday morning, 9 o'clock. Mr. Guardian of Hads, Hades, says still answering questions. I could. Yeah, it's still warm out there, so I won't go exercising until kind of sun goes down. It's only 8 o'clock here. But Mr. Guardian, you got to let me know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Beetlejuice is 5 a.m. here in Norway. What the hell are you doing up so late? I mean, yeah. Why aren't you asleep, Beetlejuice? What's wrong with you? Get a good night's sleep. At least if everybody was as half dedicated as you are, this channel would have had 1 million subscribers, which it bloody well deserves it. And Mr. Guardian says 38 male Ohio. Okay. Ohio Players. It used to be one of my favorite bands, or at least the band that we used to dance to their tunes. Didn't Ohio Player play the music, the song Skin Tight? That was a hot dancing piece at the discos at the time. And since 38 male Ohio, US, 11 p.m. Yeah, you're in Eastern side. It's 11, 3 hours difference from me. You guys remember, I have a site called mindthatseekstruth.com. Mindthatseekstruth.com. The ones who want to have a one-on-one discussion with me, which is more involved and interactive, and we can go deep into what's concerning you, you go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and click on Talk to Mehran via Skype, or click on the emblem of Skype that is twirling around on top right-hand corner of the site, and then make an appointment. If you make a 1 hour appointment and you're a new client, I add another appointment, another 1 hour to it on the same appointment. So instead of 1 hour, you'll have 2 hours, and we can discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. Beetlejuice says, I can hardly get any sleep. I'm not really a sleep person. You are not, but your body needs it. Says 2 or 3 hours is enough for me. No. Damn it, Beetlejuice. Change that. Sleep. Amazing things happen. You know, first of all, the cleanup in the brain happens when you're asleep. You know, when brain shrinks about 60% and glial cells go and hunt which synaptic neurons are not being used anymore. Because, you know, when you're trying to learn something or be good at something, you play a lot or do a lot of that thing, whatever it may be. And between the two ends of the synaptic neurons, there will be a bridge created. So the information through neurotransmitters can pass through and make you be good at what it is that you're practicing to be good at. And when you want to forget something and delete something, that's when you don't do what you used to do a lot of. Let's say if you were playing piano and you were a good pianist, but if you don't play a while, then you're not as good a pianist as you used to be. Why? Because the glial cell noticed that some of these bridges between the two synaptic neurons are no longer active, are no longer being used, and therefore they want you to be able to use these synaptic neurons for becoming good at something else, because there's only so much of it that it can be produced. It it's going to go and find the ones that are not being used, mark them with the protein C1q, and then when you sleep, microglial cells goes and find these. I think that's how it works, and then destroys those bridges that have been marked by that protein, and then the brain's real estate in the synaptic neurons becomes more available for you to learn new things. So just as it has the ability to learn and be good at things, it also has the ability to unlearn and delete things. That is when you don't pay attention to them, you don't practice them, and then they go and destroy the synaptic neurons that have been making it possible for you to be good at that thing, and then you start forgetting it. So this is why the process of ignoring intrusive thoughts and the things that you don't want to remember, then you don't focus on it, you don't ruminate on it, so it will rewire your brain, a reverse neuroplasticity, and makes you not to be bothered by them and reduces the amount of such thoughts that are produced. You become bad at something that used to be good at that wasn't good for you. If you got that, then you one step ahead of me, because I didn't get. So, so thank you, MA, for becoming a new member. And MA has helped the channel by becoming a monthly subscriber. So there's a nominal amount. We have different plans. I don't know, $3.99, $8.99, and $34.99 or something like. Depends on what level you choose. You become a member and you help the channel to grow. And thank you for that, MA. And if you don't mind, let me know where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and your gender. I'd be grateful. And Beetlejuice says, that's probably why I have dark circles under my eyes. Yes, and you better get sleep, enough sleep, because it does a lot more. When you sleep, lots of things happens. One of the things I explained to you, which is very important, to get all the stuff that is not usable and clean up the garden of your brain with the rubbish and the things that are not necessary. So that happens when you sleep. So it's important for you to sleep. Also, when you sleep, lots of neurotransmitters will become increased. It helps to reduce your anxiety level. It helps to reduce your cortisol level, stress level. It increases the growth hormones, which is very important. And it's not about growing up, it's just growth hormones, which just brings all kinds of goodies into the body and brings balance and strength and so on and so forth. And including testosterone and everything. And also the rhythm of your sleep, having to do with the sunshine and the darkness, it has to be synchronized for you to get the most benefit, and synchronize yourself with the nature where you're living. And also levels of serotonin will go up, GABA neurotransmitters increase, because when you sleep, it's somehow it's like a meditation. Meditation brings the ripples of the activities of the brain down as much as possible, and that causes GABA neurotransmitters to be increased by about 30%, which is very important for managing depression. It's anti-anxiety, anti-depression, and it helps with the reducing the managing the intrusive thoughts. That's GABA neurotransmitter. Nowadays, they can tell what neurotransmitter is good for what. So that's why sleeping is very important. And don't underestimate the power of sleeping. Don't underestimate the power of sleeping, my son. Beetlejuice says, you're right. More sleep would definitely help with OCD. That's right. And Mace Bannister says, how can you ignore OCD when it's constantly there? Because you have to. Because you don't want to be good at it. Because you got to learn and educate yourself that it's all rubbish. It's an illusory, fictitious way for you to bring security to yourself. because you think this is a fictional behavior. This brings certain kind of a balance and assurance of certain things not to go bad. Like if I touch this 3 times, my parents won't die. If I touch that 3 times, my exam will be good. These are the things that you need it to be good, and you have no way of making it happen. So you go and create some kind of a extraordinary, outbound beliefs, and you become superstitious, and then OCD starts. But when you say, listen, I did 10 times and nothing happened to my parents, that's good. But let me just do 5 times today. Let's see if something happens to my parents, because my parents are not stupid. They take care of themselves. You do 5 times, see nothing happened to the parents and nothing happened to you. Huh? So you say, okay, I'll do it 2 times. You do it 2 times. Well, everything's cool. Nobody died. So next time you do once. Hey, all cool. What the hell was I doing 10 times? And then you say, from then on, I do when I need to. I don't have to touch that switch 10 times or whatever it is. So you reprogram yourself through neuroplasticity. Again, you rewire this behavior, because that was out of lack of psychological security, because we all need that, and we create certain kind of rituals in order to create that illusory feeling of, yeah, I got it, it's all balanced, all good. It's like, we all did that. I did that all my childhood. I mean, all different kinds. It's just getting bad. But I had a strong mind, and I knew this is weird. So I kind of reprogrammed myself. Took me a while, but here I am. All right. And this is, for example, sometimes it gets that strong that my whole body shakes. Yeah, well, because you think it has to shake. You say, well, what are you shaking for? Nothing's going to happen. It's like people who are on heroin or some kind of a drugs. And one of the ways that they try to get that out of their system is they just don't do, just like OCD. When you have obsession, you got to do compulsion. If you hold on and don't do the compulsion, at least for, let's say, when you really feel like doing it, hold on. Do something else. Say, I'll do it just in a second. Do something else. And before you know it, 10 minutes has passed. And you see, I don't really need to do it anymore that bad. But then it hits you, oh, maybe I should do it just to make sure. Then you'll do it. But behold, you just avoided it for 10 extra minutes, which tells you you can resist it. You don't have to do it. Next time, you say, okay, I'll do it. And you do something else. And then while you do something else, time passes a half an hour. You say, hey, I don't feel the urgency to do it. So little by little, you treat yourself, you retrain yourself. The same thing when they want to get that drug out of the system of someone, they help him or her to resist using that when it's really needed, or he or she thinks it's needed. So OCD is the same. It's a mental need, but it's psychological. The drug thing is got substances, chemical. That's a little different, but the process, there are similarities. So, oh, my ride is here. A train is close by. Um, May says, I do regret not getting help earlier. Yeah, well, um, just understand how it works, how OCD works, and you can deal with it. Oh my goodness, we got whopping 9 people here. That's just totally amazing. I'm beside myself. Don't you guys forget, I need your help. I need you guys do something on your social media and promote this on TikTok, Instagram. I don't know, wherever it is that Facebook, whatever it is that you have access to, chat rooms. I don't know how they work, but go ahead and do it. Promote this channel and link it to the channel so they can see you on TikTok. And then just like who was suggesting that earlier on this afternoon in our other live stream. All right. Okay, guys. Looks like we don't have any more questions, so I guess I can wrap it up. And or should I stay another half an hour? What do you guys think? Do we have anything to say? I guess not. There's nobody here. Everybody has asked the questions, so perhaps we just have some tea. And Beetlejuice says TikTok is the way to go. The algorithm are crazy there. Yeah. Well, Beetlejuice, you can make something promotion for this channel and put it on your own TikTok, and then you know point it toward this YouTube channel or my own TikTok as well. So then the rest can happen easily. Kiavash Muqaddam, that's a Persian name, says, "Hi, good morning. I hear noises in my head before I go to sleep. It could be due to OCD. I don't know. Talk to your psychologist, psychotherapist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychotherapist. I don't want to mislead anyone. I don't have any medical credentials and I don't claim to have one. But the particular thing that you're talking about, when you say I have noises in my head, I don't know what that means really, because I don't know if it's to do with the hissing sound of your ears or is it really some kind of a noises that you can interpret. I don't know what it is, but I suggest you make an appointment with your doctor and discuss that with him or her and ask them to guide you where to go from there. Uh, then I'm sure they can help. Because remember, psychology is a field that most advancements of anything else, any other field, has been achieved in psychology. So they know a lot about it. So you're in good hands. Go to a psychologist, psychotherapist. And if it's about OCD, you got to make sure that this psychologist, psychotherapist is specializing in OCD and subsets of OCD. Not just any psychologist can understand the depth and the nitty gritties of OCD just because they're psychologists. No, they got to be specializing in that field. And I have the links of many world famous psychologists like Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Jan Weiner, Dr. Philipson. These are all on the links of my videos on the playlists of the OCD and subsets and so on. That I have two playlists. So you can reach out if you can afford them. If not, there are other psychologists around the world that you can make sure they're specializing in the field of OCD and OCD subsets and then get help from them. Like you get help from any other, for any other reason, like, have any other organ that is not doing well. If your knee hurts, you go to the doctor, you know, if you have any organ problems, you go to the doctor. So mental issues is issues that most people in the world have some kind of mental issue. So why don't you go to the doctor? Check it out. Specialists, psychologists, psychotherapists. May says, is feelings and brain a different sort of thing or do they collide in a way? Well, brain creates thoughts and these thoughts are either produced by you use the apparatus of the brain to create the thoughts that would serve you for accomplishing something that you have in mind, or the brain itself produces certain thoughts. And that thought, either one of them, depending on what their mandate is backed up by a powerful brain, which makes the body react to it. Whether you want it or not, body reacts to it because to brain and to body, pretty much, there's no difference between virtuality and actuality. So the brain thinks whatever virtual is actual and therefore makes the body think that what's virtual to the brain is actually actual to the body and the body reacts. You could be startled from something that doesn't exist. If you're walking in a dark alley or something, some kind of a thing seems like moved and you move, but there's nothing there. But the body moves, reacts to what the brain conjured up and believed that this is real because it was real to the brain, because virtuality in the brain has no difference than actuality for the brain. So brain reacts the same way. That's why anxiety and fears and all these things, many of them don't exist. But brain believes it exists, so makes you react to make you believe it, and you react to it. Your body reacts to it according to it. So there is a overlapping part there, but brain is so powerful that it can make the body react to something that it encourages, but you don't agree to that body should react in that way because your intellect and your awareness of yourself, depending on what the topic is, it could very well be different than what the body is reacting, what the brain has created, and the body reacts to it. And Beetlejuice says, I'm going to get some sleep. Have a good rest of your day, night, and nightmare. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, good. Well, it's perhaps time for us to also go. We've already done enough here. 1 hour and 15 minutes and 30 seconds and 31, 32, and continuing. So it's time for me to go get some exercise. So I look forward to talk to you again whenever it comes up. But if it's not unannounced, it will hopefully be next Saturday, because sometimes I go unannounced, unscheduled, and make a live stream. That could happen between now and Saturday. But otherwise, usually Saturday at 1 p.m. and hopefully, some Saturdays at 9 p.m. I have live stream, Vancouver time, that is. So I hope that you guys will join us again and promote the channel for the live streams at least, or for more subscribers and to reach more people and help more people. In the meantime, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to talk to you again. In the meantime, be good to yourself, to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.